Hello students, today we are going to discuss a new chapter, that is biotechnology. This biotechnology is actually one section of your second year syllabus where it has two chapters. One is the principle and process and second is the application. In the principle and process, we are going to discuss the different technology, how actually gene manipulation is done in the organism so that we can acquire or we can get the product. And in the application chapter, we are going to see only the products, how actually all those products work or how we can able to get those products. So in this application chapter, we will see only the different organisms where gene manipulation is done. And in the principle and the process, we are going to see the whole technology, how actually gene manipulation is done. So we are moving to the chapter biotechnology, principle and processes. So let's just start. First of all, we have the definition of biotechnology. So this chapter is going to be a very interesting chapter where you have to understand actually the different terms that is used which we don't see with our naked eye, and we cannot imagine actually how gene manipulation is done because the whole process is based on completely microscopic biology where the genes are cut, the genes can be added in some organism. So that's why we need some imagination so that we can understand properly the chapter. So first of all, let's just see the definition. What is the definition? Biotechnology is a process of using the live organism or their enzymes to obtain the products. See, in this chapter, some terms, some things we have discussed already in the earlier chapter, that is microbes in human welfare. What is that? See, we already have studied that in the household or in the industries, we use the different microorganisms for our advancement, that means for our own utilization. What are they? First of all, if I say the example of curd making process or fermentation process where in the industries by the process of fermentation microorganisms, different yeast organisms, so that we can able to get the products like alcohol, or in the medicinal purpose we can able to get the vaccine, or in the another process it is also used in the different agricultural fields, also in the sewage treatment also we use lots of microorganisms. Suppose if you take one example in the sewage treatment, what is that? We use the aerobic microorganism and anaerobic organism so that they can decompose or so that it can take the organic compounds present in the water so that we can decrease the pollution level of the water. So microorganism we use. Next thing, another example you can take, suppose biogas. In the biogas, what we use, the microorganism, that is Methanococcus. So Methanococcus will produce the gas as a byproduct. It produces the gases like methane, then carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen, etc. So we use directly the whole microorganism, suppose in the curd making process, that is LAB, or their products. Suppose if it is in case of one product, some enzyme, suppose acetic acid that is extracted, that is taken from one aspergillus or some other microorganisms, those products we actually use for the products. So what type of products we get? Suppose curd, vaccine, biogas, these are the products, or alcohol, these are the products. So we use the microorganism or their different enzymes or their different products we use so that we can able to get our products. So this is also one application of biotechnology. That means we use the microorganism, that is biotechnology itself. But biotechnology is also advancing with the advancement of the molecular biology. So whenever biology is suppose evolve or advancing with the utilization of different strategies, or with the utilization of very sophisticated some gadgets, or by different type of other very minute or in the nano level, lots of various types of utilization or different appliances are there which can able to cut, fragment, add the genetic makeup of the organism. Suppose you can utilize some type of genes into some products. Suppose we have one plant. Suppose in a sapling you have changed one gene. Whenever that sapling will convert into a long tree, then that tree can be converted into a pest resistant plant. That is the Bt toxin. So Bt toxin is actually a toxin produced by one gene, that is the cry gene. So this cry gene is extracted from one bacteria, that is Bacillus thuringiensis. So from the Bacillus thuringiensis we extract the gene, that is the cry gene, and this cry gene is introduced into a sapling, right? Then in the plant, that cry gene will start to undergo this process of transcription translation. It will produce that Bt toxin and it will be present throughout the plant, in the leaf, in the stem, in the root, everywhere. Whenever a pest come to that plant and take the leaf, then that specific arthropod or that specific insect which is a pest of that plant, it will die. So what are they? From the ancient time till now, we are using biotechnology knowingly or unknowingly. Nowadays, lots of advancement is here. We can manipulate the gene. But earlier time, the microorganisms, they were directly used in the different processes. So just see, that is the definition itself, that biotechnology is a process of using the live organism or their enzymes to obtain products. I hope you understand this line. Next, or to develop the processes useful for human being. So lots of processes are here where we use lots of microorganisms. If you take one example that is very much interesting, that is PCR, polymerase chain reaction. Now let me tell you what is PCR in just the definition, or the very simple basic idea, that PCR is actually just like a Xerox machine where you can have only one gene or two genes, suppose, in DNA fragment. Then if you add it into the PCR, then it can give you the desired numbers or the copies of the same DNA fragment. That means it can Xerox the DNA fragment. Xerox means it can multiply. So in that PCR, the whole PCR technology, we have to use some enzymes, and those steps of the PCR that can occur in high temperature, where some enzymes are needed. The enzymes have to withstand the different high temperature like 90-92 degrees Celsius. They have to survive. Those enzymes cannot be deactivated or degenerated if it comes to high temperature. We know that our enzymes, they need one optimum temperature where they can work properly. But our enzymes will not work in the PCR. So that's why we actually extracted one organism, one bacteria, one microorganism, that is bacteria, that is Thermophilus bacteria. They can survive in a very high temperature. So from that bacteria, one enzyme, that is Taq polymerase or DNA polymerase, that is extracted, that is used in the PCR, so that we can able to get our product, that is the multiple of copies, that is used in the forensic, that is having actually one evolutionary changes in the human or to human mankind. So that is biotechnology. I hope you understand the overview. What is the biotechnology process? See, biotechnology is a process of using the live organism or their enzymes to obtain the product or to develop the processes useful for human being. So this too we have to know what is the definition of biotechnology. After that, we need to know some terms, right? Some scientist name you have to know. One is the father of biotechnology. This is very much important. Who is the father of biotechnology? Paul Berg. Remember. Next one, the term biotechnology, it was given by another scientist, that was Carl Erecki. Remember, the two scientists, they are very much important. From the exam point of view, questions can come from these two scientists' name. Now after that, we'll see the differences between the biotechnology in the ancient or earlier time, in the classical ways, how we use biotechnology, and in the modern days how we use biotechnology. We will see both these two, we'll compare both these two. Okay, so first of all, see what is the classical or traditional aspect of biotechnology. In classical aspect, what we use, see, this is the first line even, we use the live organism or their products. See, it is based on the natural capabilities of the microbes. That means we directly use the microorganism. Whatever the enzyme the microbe or that microorganism naturally produce, that enzyme we take. Okay, so that is actually the classical aspect of biotechnology. Next one, by using microbes or the enzymes, we obtain our product. Okay, this is so obvious. Suppose example, fermentation, we use the brewer's yeast, isn't Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Next, baking, that is the same, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that is also known as the baker's yeast, or it is also known as the brewer's yeast. Next one, curd making procedure, that is the LAB, lactobacillus, or the cheese making, Swiss cheese or Roquefort cheese, we use the microorganism. See, that is the traditional aspect of biotechnology, where we have not manipulated the genetic makeup of the microorganism. The microorganism is as it is. Directly that microorganism, naturally whatever the enzymes are produced, we use it. And we use it for its production. Suppose that enzyme convert the milk into that product, that is suppose curd, or the milk into suppose cheese. Those products we get. So that are the traditional aspect of the biotechnology. But in modern days, it is actually a lots of amazing things we can able to get by just changing or manipulating the genes. See, what are the molecular modern aspects of biotechnology? So nowadays, what we do, modify the organisms genetically. We alter the genetic makeup of the organism, that will be known as GMO, genetically modified organism. So we modify the genetic makeup of the organism to obtain the desired product. Earlier what we used the natural capabilities of the microorganism, and whatever the product they produce, we use it. But nowadays what happened, we can able to get the desired product of our use. Okay, we can able to get our desired product by changing the genetic makeup of the microorganism, right? So we have two aspects. One is the genetic engineering, and we can able to maintain a sterile condition, okay, for the production of vaccine or rDNA technology, for the production of pest resistant plant, etc. So what is vaccination? We already know that vaccination is nothing but it was first of all discovered by whom? Edward Jenner. He actually used a microorganism that was causing cowpox, and it is introduced into human. But nowadays the vaccines, they are varieties, they are different. Suppose 4th generation vaccine, 2nd generation vaccine, 3rd generation vaccine, etc. Where the live organism, they are not directly introduced into suppose some individuals to develop immunity. What Edward Jenner did, Nowadays, we use just the plasma membrane of the microbe or just the gene fragment of the microorganism, so that whenever it is introduced into our body will respond same way if a live organism will enter. So we develop the immunity so that we can able to fight against those different pathogens. So that is vaccination. Earlier also the vaccines are used. Nowadays also it is used, but nowadays more advanced or more safe vaccines are available nowadays, which in any condition cannot convert into a virulent type of microorganisms and can cause disease. Nowadays very safe or the third generation vaccines are used, okay, that we have already discussed in human health and disease. Next one, rDNA technology for the production of pest resistant plant, that is BT plant. So if I give you an example of BT plant, that is BT cotton. So BT cotton, that is actually one pest resistant plant. We know already, we have discussed in the microbes in human welfare that, and whenever we use suppose some type of chemical fertilizers or chemical pesticides, it is harming not only the pest, it is killing not only the pest, but it is going to harm the whole environment. It can cause pollution to the soil, pollution to water, it kill many other living other organisms other than that pest. If the pest dies, along with that bird also can die, the snake also can die. It can cause different various disease into human body if we take that chemical those product which is having chemical pesticides in it. So that's why what we are going to have, without using any type of pesticides or without using any type of chemical fertilizers, by using microorganism we can enrich the nutritional quality, or we can able to get the whole plant resistant to the pest. One example is BT plant, that is BT brinjal also you can see, or BT cotton. Now in India BT cotton is prevalent. It is a lot of microorganisms like cotton bollworm are there, okay. So that bollworm take the leaf of the plant cotton, so that the production of cotton is very less. But by using that gene, that is a gene is introduced, that is a cry gene, that is introduced into the sapling, and after that whenever that cotton plant grow, it is going to have this BT toxin in that plant throughout the plant everywhere, and whenever a pest try to come and take the leaf, it dies. So this is one revolutionary changes that actually was bring to the world, which help us to go towards organic farming without utilizing any type of pesticides. But till now in India we are using only BT cotton because it is going to have lots of other harmful impact also. So see, these are just the introduction of biotechnology. We are going to see what are those two aspects. One is the genetic engineering and second one is the maintenance of the sterile environment. What are they? Let's just see. Now let us see the aspects of genetic engineering. There are two aspects of biotechnology we have. There are two aspects. First one is genetic engineering and second one is maintenance of the sterile environment. So first of all, the two aspects of biotechnology, let's just see. First one, what is genetic engineering? Genetic engineering is a technique to alter the chemistry of the genetic material. Genetic material, we know we have two genetic material, one is DNA, another is the RNA, to introduce this into the host organism and thus change the phenotype of the host organism. Now just see, one suppose organism is there, that is the plant. Okay, suppose here we are not using any genetic engineering, this is the plant. So this plant is affected by one pest, okay, and the production, what the yielding, whatever we need to get, we don't able to extract that same amount of yielding. Now what we can do, this is one microorganism. Suppose this is the microorganism, and in the microorganism we have one specific gene. We just cut the gene and we introduced into the plant sapling. Okay, suppose this is the sapling. In the sapling we utilize that specific DNA technology and introduced that gene into that plant. Okay, into the plant sapling, so that whenever that plant will grow, suppose now this plant is growing, so this plant will have the specific product. That means gene, whenever it is introduced into the plant, it will start to express its character. That means we can able to alter the phenotype of the host organism. Phenotype means which is visible, expressible. Okay. Genotype means we alter the genotype, we introduce that gene, we change the genotype to see the change in phenotype also. That means whenever a gene is introduced into the sapling, that will start to express. That will start to express means what? That specific gene, it will undergo the process of transcription and in the translation process, and it will produce the product. Suppose toxin, that is Bt toxin. So this Bt toxin will be present everywhere in the plant. It will be present in the roots, it will be present in the stem, as well as it will be present in the whole leaves or fruits, everywhere. Now that means this Bt toxin is now everywhere present. Whenever that pest come to take the leaf, then the pest will die. Why? Because that specific product, that is Bt toxin, is harmful to the pest. So we alter the phenotype. How we alter the phenotype? By the biotechnology, we extract one specific gene from a microorganism, introduced into the plant. We change we alter the genetic makeup of this plant. Okay, then after that, whenever that plant sapling will grow, it will have its product throughout the body. That means it will be present in the leaf, it will be present in the stem, as well as the root also. Whenever the pest come and take this suppose plant product or the leaf or the stem or even the root, then it can able to express its character, it will die. Okay, so that is the genetic engineering. See, genetic engineering is also very much useful in the people who are suffering from suppose stunted growth or dwarfism, or suppose some of the people they're suffering from some type of enzyme linked diseases like SCID. Okay, so that SCID or severe combined immunodeficiency disease, I have already mentioned in the human health and disease. So what is SCID or severe combined immunodeficiency disease? That the individual are born without the enzyme. That enzyme convert the B lymphocyte into the different products, that is antibodies, or the T lymphocyte that will convert into cytotoxic, killer cell, the suppressor, helper, all those type of cells. That means the individual are born without the immune system. Why? Because of the lack of the enzyme. And why this enzyme is not there? Because they have a erroneous gene. So that gene cannot express properly. It cannot undergo proper transcription, translation, and that's why it cannot produce the product. And that's the product, that enzyme is necessary for the conversion of B lymphocyte to produce the antibodies, the T lymphocyte to produce the cytotoxic killer cell, etc. So that's why what will happen, the individual will not at all have the immune system. If we somehow understand any type of diseases or any type of disorder that the baby will suffer in whenever he will born, in the fetal state, in the embryonic state, if you can able to alter the gene, okay, if like the sapling, in the embryonic state, if we can alter the gene, then whenever that baby will be fully grown, he will not have these diseases. Or the people, whenever he is suffering from suppose stunted growth, if he is injected some growth hormone, okay, by the use of biotechnology, then it is also possible that the people can correct out the different diseases they are present right from the birth. And if suppose it is not possible that in the time of birth or before birth we are not able to understand chromosomal any type of disorder, then after that SCID can be treated, but it has to take that specific enzyme at the interval of the time. Okay, and if we can able to understand that the baby is going to suffer from SCID whenever it will born before birth, if the gene is corrected by genetic engineering, then forever she or he can completely recover from the diseases. So that is the power of the genetic engineering, by which we can completely cure lots of genetic disorder, genetic diseases like enzyme-linked disease, SCID, or it can be also introduced into the plant so that we can make that plant pest resistant. So this plant, this is the same plant, this is the normal plant, and this is the GMO, genetically modified organism, where the gene is manipulated, the gene DNA or the RNA is manipulated. Manipulated means a foreign gene is introduced. Whenever that foreign gene is introduced, it starts to express, and whenever it will be converted into a tree, it will have its product in their body, so that a pest come to them and take the leaf, it will not able to survive. So that plant become a pest resistant, is it? So it become a pest resistant plant or not? Isn't that? So that is the genetic engineering, and this pest resistant plant, it is known as GMO. That means we alter the genetic makeup of this plant, isn't it? Whenever it was in the sapling state, then it convert into a big plant suppose, then it will start to express its character and become the pest resistant plant. So that type of organisms where the gene manipulation is done, that is known as genetically modified organism. After that, the second aspect, let us see, that is the maintenance of the sterile environment. So after that, the next one is the maintenance of the sterile condition. So it is also very much important to maintain a sterile environment so that we can able to get the desired product. So let me tell you what is the meaning of this line. So first of all, microbial contamination-free ambience in the chemical engineering process to enable the growth of the desired microbes in the large quantities for the manufacture of the products like antibiotic, vaccine, enzyme, etc. So I will give you with an example. Suppose this is one petri dish. Okay. So in the petri dish, we will have a certain amount of nutrients. Okay. Suppose that nutrient is present, and the nutrients basically are agarose, right? So in that medium, this is the environment, this is the medium where the microbes have to grow in large quantity. I have given in a small example. Suppose this is the specific microbe that has to grow. So microbes, they are growing and they are taking the nutrients, and that's how after that they are growing. And after that, suppose from that microbe they actually release one type of chemical. Okay, so that chemical we are using as an antibiotic. Suppose this is the desired microorganism, suppose it is a fungus. So that fungus, Penicillium notatum, it produces the penicillin, that is the chemical, and we use as an antibiotic. Okay, we use the antibiotic. Suppose from this petri dish we can able to get suppose half kg or 500 gram of the antibiotic we need to get. Okay, this is our expectation that from this petri dish we should get 500 grams of antibiotic. Now in this petri dish, okay, suppose you allow the growth of the microbe using the same environment, that is the agarose gel. This is the same nutrient, and yes, also we have added the fungus. That fungus is growing, but due to any carelessness, if suppose some other type of microorganism, suppose a different bacteria or a different fungus also start to grow, then what will happen? They will also consume the same nutrient. Then after that, what will happen? Their growth is also occurring, isn't that, by using the nutrients, and that will restrict the growth of our desired microbial growth. Okay, that means that microbes in that huge quantity, suppose it actually need to grow, it will not able to grow because the other type of microbes are also growing. So that's why as a result, what will happen? From this, the chemical they are produced, so that chemical will start to get less, isn't it? And from that, whatever the antibiotic we should get, actually, suppose it is not 500 gram, it is only suppose 20 gram of the antibiotic we get, right? Why does that happen? Because a different type of microbes have developed, okay, and this is very much difficult to maintain a sterile environment. So this is one basic principle, that whenever we go for any biotechnological procedures or biotechnological any suppose experiment we do, or if we just need to enter into biotechnology room, we cannot use the naked hand, or we are not allowed to talk, because whenever we talk, suppose from suppose our mouth a saliva drops, okay, that can completely damage the production. The yielding will completely decrease, or that whole experiment of suppose 40 days or 50 days, that will also go in vain, right? So that's why in the biotechnological lab we're not allowed to come in the shoes. So shoes we have to remove, we have to use the jacket, we used to have the mask, like those PPE kits, we actually should use all those complete protection, so that from our body, if we are suffering from any type of disease, or suppose from our body, suppose the microbes are already there in our body, that cannot damage the experiment, microbiological experiment which is going on, right? So that's why it is very much important to maintain the sterile environment. So this environment where no another microbe is growing, that is the sterile environment. So this is a very much important to know, that maintenance of sterile environment is necessary for the production of anything. That means for the production of antibiotic, for the production of vaccine or enzyme. This is very much important. Every time, every equipments have to thoroughly rinse with alcohol, okay, so that no microorganism can grow. Okay, if we just keep a piece of bread in our home, then in the next day fungus grow. Okay, it is not at all allowed to grow in our microbiological or biotechnological lab, right? So that's why these two principles, one is genetic engineering and second one is maintenance of the sterile environment, that is very much important, right? So this is about the introduction. We need to know what is biotechnology, then the classical biotechnology and the modern biotechnology, and European Federation of Biotechnology, they actually gave the definition of biotechnology as both the classical and the a modern biotechnology. Together it is called as biotechnology. And after that, we need to know this aspect or the principle of biotechnology. One is the genetic engineering and second one is the maintenance of the sterile condition. So this is about the introduction of biotechnology. Hope you have understood. In the next, we will discuss the rest of the thing. I hope you understand. Thank you.